This quick exercise is great fun and you only need one paint. Hi, I'm Anna Mason. Welcome to Nature Studio TV, here to help you become the artist you want to be. I love painting with bright colours, but it can make a really fun change to paint a study in monochrome. Doing this can also help train your artist's eye, because when you strip away colour, you're left with tone and details. Here's an overview of how I painted a study of a beautiful poppy in my sketchbook using one watercolour paint and a line and wash style. I made a sketchy outline drawing working freehand with an HB pencil, and then because I was working in a looser line and wash style for this study, I drew over the lines using a waxy black pencil to create a bold graphic look. I used a more jaggedy line around the edges of the delicate petals and smoother lines on the stems. Next, I came in with a watery layer of paint to everywhere in the flower except the palest parts, which were in the centre. I was using Mars Black watercolour paint by Winsor & Newton, but you can use any transparent dark watercolour paint for this. I was using a mop brush to apply the paint loosely, but still working in the direction of the stripy veins to create a sense of the poppy's crinkly texture and curvy form. I then pulled the paint down the poppy's stem, and with the tip of the brush worked into the flower centre, leaving the stamens pale. Moving across to the seed head, I varied the amount of water to apply the paint more thinly on the lighter parts and with a thicker consistency to the shadow areas. I went back to the main flower, which was not yet fully dry, with another layer of paint. Using the tip of the brush, I darkened these petals by painting in little lines, following the angles of the veins. Then I allowed the painting to dry completely, before using a less watery mix to pick out the darkest tones. I was using a smaller brush for this and holding the handle high up to keep my marks loose. I extended the darker tones down the stems and into the seed heads. Watering down the paint mix, I then worked into the mid-tone areas in the petals, which were now dry. Then I darkened around the seed pod in the flower centre, avoiding the pale stamens and anther, trying to keep my marks free-flowing and not very controlled. At this stage, I got into a game of spot the difference between my reference photo and the painting, looking for areas that stood out to me as not dark enough. Once that was dry, I used my waxy pencil to darken the outlines. Though this way of working is expressive and speedy, it's also deeply mindful because it's all about portraying the beauty and the details that you see in the subject. I call this relaxing practice botanical sketching, and I enjoy using bold line work to emphasise detail and shape. With the paint, I made more tonal adjustments next, trying to work fast and keep my marks loose. I was stepping back and comparing my painting to my photo, looking for any details and veins I wanted to add. To finish the painting, I loaded my mop brush with very watery paint and gave it a few flicks for a flourish of splatters. Then with the side of my waxy pencil, I loosely extended the line work in places to emphasise the sketchy look. And at that, I decided my poppy sketch was finished. A much longer video class showing you every step of the process is available in Nature Studio, my online art school and community. Nature Studio members also get loads of advice and support on how to make botanical sketching a regular, joyful, relaxing art practice. If you've enjoyed this mini class, please subscribe to Nature Studio TV, then pop over to naturestudio.com where you can sign up for a free class and find a whole heap of free resources to help you capture the beauty of nature on your paper. Thanks for watching, and if you want to find out more about my art school Nature Studio and the free class that's waiting for you there, keep watching. Have you taken my free full-length watercolour class yet? If not, you're in for a treat. In it, I guide you step by step through painting a juicy, realistic pear that'll make you think, wow, I did that. You'll learn a repeatable, reliable watercolour method that you can go on to use for painting all kinds of other subjects. I'm confident you'll discover something that I already know, that you're a better artist than you think. I teach everything about my watercolour method in this full-length class, and I'm sharing it with you for free because I want to show you what you can achieve with the right instruction. If it ignites a spark in you, just as it has for thousands of others who've taken this class, there are hundreds more detailed tutorials you can unlock if you choose to become a Nature Studio member. So get the free class now and get ready to wow yourself with your results.